So welcome to today's video. I feel like this is going to be titled something like Extreme Living Room Makeover or like Getting Our Lives Together or some shit like that. Stop laughing at me. Because today is a very exciting day. It is the day that we got a TV stand. So for the last, well, I've been in this apartment since... April. And then Grace, my roommate, moved in, roommate/college friend. She moved in June. Yeah, June. And it is now September. And this has been our TV stand situation. You see the mess of cords, the fact that it's a coffee table, the fact that all the consoles are on the ground, that there are still boxes and containers over here, and there's still so much stuff everywhere. I'm sorry the hand motions are bad. I'm doing everything in reverse. 'Cause mirror image. So we had been waiting for my parents' house to sell to get their TV stand. However, their house hasn't sold. So instead, today, we bought a TV stand off of a guy on the Let Go app that lived like 10 minutes away. And it's good. It's real good. So this is the TV stand. It's like 60 inches across. Both these cabinets have shelves in them. This one's glass so that, you know, like it can receive the signals from the remotes and all that good stuff. And right now it's sitting in the middle of our entryway because we just brought it up. We are very sweaty, and a very nice gentleman helped us bring it up because we were struggling. Full disclosure though, we could have gotten it by ourselves. He was just a very nice man. Stinson, what do you think? Oh, now he's just weirded out because I moved the cat tunnel. You don't want to investigate the entire piece of furniture. But what that means is that this video is going to be the documentary of us. My arm's stretched out, now you can see it. This is going to be the documentary of us organizing the TV stand and the bookshelves and all of that. So this entire side of the apartment is going to look #better.
Excuse you, my desk looks great.
It does. You have a very nice bookshelf. However, these 3 bookshelves, that piece of marble, that lamp that needs to go in a dumpster, and the spot that is chaos are all going to change today. You done messed up?
I done messed up.
It's okay, we have before after video. I'll screenshot in the video for you. So right now what we have is that we moved the TV stand over here, the perfect size. Amy can measure things. But first, before we set all of that up, we're actually going to rearrange the bookshelves to our liking, because if we have extra shelves over here, then we're going to put the video games on the shelf versus putting them in the actual TV stand. So that's what's happening now. So we are standing here being like, this is weird. It's only like 5 p.m. Why does it keep getting darker? And there was just thunder. So there's gonna be a storm.
There's gonna be a storm.
Bookshelf tripod.
Nice.
I really look like a fuckboy. Okay, so Grace cannot process. Okay, so I know we've discussed wanting a shelf that's our like 2 read shelves. Is that a combined shelf, or is that we each have a 2 read shelf?
It depends on how many to read books we have. I think we should sort into categories first and what kind of shelves we want, and then decide from there. So it could be like we have a combined to read shelf because we have so many similar ones, and then we can have like Grace's end, Amy's end, and then kind of go towards the middle. Or it could be that we have so many to read books that...
Okay, so we do want, when we're sorting on the floor, because we're going to sort on the floor,
Floor's good.
we're going to do like a to read shelf, And then I feel like we should have like a big epic series shelf, essentially like Aragon and Harry Potter should be on the same shelf.
Yeah, agreed. Do you want to do, I don't know how many books you have from classes that you kept, but I have a lot. So we
I
can
have
do
a decent amount.
Class, a Truman bookshelf, if you will. A creative writing major bookshelf.
Yes, we were forced to purchase these, but we didn't get rid of them. So that says something at least. And then I feel like we could have a good YA shelf.
At least one, yeah.
So YA should be its own shelf. And then maybe
George R. R. Martin should go with Aragon and Harry Potter. That's not relevant right now, but I just saw it.
Do you want Percy Jackson on the fantasy shelf or the YA shelf? Wow, that's a lot of thunder.
Yes. Yes, queen. I think that's another, like, let's look at what we have for each shelf kind of thing.
Okay.
I don't know how much, like, do you want to do, like, a classic / poetry shelf? We can do, like, all
A
the
hoity-toity shelf?
Yeah, that's a good word for it, yeah. Like, all the Greek myth stuff and where the
A Tale of Two Cities and my Gatsby book, or my Fitzgerald books.
Yep. And, like, the sayings and quotations and stuff like that.
Okay. So let's start sorting, and then if we find things that don't fit into any categories, then we'll have to think of, like, what other shelves we're gonna have.
Sounds good.
Break. So we've made our stacks, so it came down to adult novels, not meaning erotica, meaning meant for adults. High fantasy stories that are like long series that we cherish. This is books we have because of college classes. This is our combined to read shelf. This is hoity-toity books. Yes, that is the Polar Express. And then this is all YA. I have a lot of weird-ass decorations, so I'm going to go through them. This is not a decoration, but it is Jenga. But I have these two cameras that my family doesn't even remember where they came from, but they're just like old as hell. So there's that one, and then there's this red one we put on the first shelf we did here. But they're just cool and old. And then I have a rubber ducky because my sorority mascot was a rubber duck, so I just have one that I kept. This is my grandpa's film camera, like video camera. This was actually what like my dad's baby videos and like childhood home videos were taken on. This pocket watch was my grandpa's. This turtle shell is Grace's. Any explanations?
I don't remember. I think we just found it on the side of the road.
Okay.
I live in a small town.
Lived.
Lived! I don't live in a small town anymore.
This is just like an old Kodak film camera that we found in our basement when I was moving out, so I took it. My mom got me this. It lights up. Barely. Batteries are dying. Birdcage I bought at Hobby Lobby to put candles in so my cats can't burn themselves. These I actually have in an old thrift haul. These two birds, the other one's up there. I got at a thrift store in our college town. This is a mug that I think looks like a dragon egg that I have a fake succulent in. I bought myself this Beanie Baby because treat yourself, and he's a little dragon, so he's the best. Captain America and Iron Man Civil War tissue box. Yes, I know that's quite old. A candle. My grandmother's teapot. It's a Sadler teapot, which is apparently like very collectible. I don't know. Human Rights Campaign flag from going to Pride in LA. There's a little like whiskey tumbler with some pheasants on it that was in my family's cabinet. I'm not sure where this comes from, honestly. I grew up with English setters, so my parents had this like wrought iron English setter, which I kept. This alligator my family got at a gift shop in the Everglades as a like tourist thing. And then these are candle holders that were my grandma's. It's my Pepperomia. He loves living on the bookshelf. This loon was on my parents' mantle like most of my life, so when they went to get rid of it, I was just like, oh, I want the loon. And then this is the button jar, which was my great aunt's, and she just like put random buttons in, and then my family kept adding to it after we inherited it, and then now I've inherited it, and I will continue to add random buttons to it. And then we've got this succulent, these cacti, and this cacti, which all had homes on the TV stand or the bookshelf, and so they're going to be part of the reorganization.
Do you want to start genre or teen romance? We're doing YA.
Sorting. Okay.
Love, Simon. One
Romance.
copy. Romance.
Yeah, copy number 1.
Oh, Maximum Ride.
Those are dystopian.
Do you have other Maximum Ride books?
Yes, they're in this stuff. Another.
Which one is that?
And another. And another.
Would you give them to me so I can sort them?
I'm showing them to the camera, Grace.
I was like,
There's video to be made. Love, Simon number 2. Romance.
That one's yours, right? I have the movie cover? Yeah. Eleanor in Park.
Romance. Have you read Eleanor in Park?
No.
Okay.
Actually, that's on my to read. Do you want to put that aside? We'll put it on to read.
Yeah.
Because I meant to read that not last year. When we lived together last.
Yeah.
2 boys kissing.
I love that your sticky notes from
Yeah,
class are
apparently
still
still marked up. Well, I think this is one that I did a group project on, so had to get those good references in.
Paper Towns. Romance, even though it's not romance.
Not romance.
Not romance, disguised as romance. Bull, David Elliott.
That's on my to read, so actually just take all your books and
So-
just throw them onto the to read pile.
So interesting, so good. Okay.
Because I can do that in like a day or 2.
The sun is also a star.
Put that right there on the teen romance list.
It's getting a little tall. Gossip Girl.
Where does that go, Amy?
So we just finished our fantasy shelves. So this one is like our main beloved fantasy series. And then this is all the other fantasy and then a little bit of like sci-fi stuff. But I own 2 copies of the 7th Harry Potter book. So we kind of have the fun of it's down here and it's up here. Plus, I also own 2 copies of Aragon. So this is like my old copy that is falling apart. And then this is the newer copy I found at a thrift store a couple years ago. And then Grace owns 2 copies of Wicked. Well, she owns one. I own the other.
I own 2 copies of Wicked. One of them's just on my bookshelf.
So she's one on her bookshelf, one on here, where we have like all of them lined up. And then I also have a copy of Wicked that's up here. So we kind of have a Easter eggy bookshelf where like maybe no one will ever notice the repeats, but maybe someone also will. So it's now the next day at noon. We weren't as successful as we thought we'd be last night, and so the TV stand.
You know what it isn't? Rewound to the beginning.
Grab the phone. This just in. We own a working VHS player in the year 2019. So we have decided that Nintendo needs to get with the program and get rid of the big things like this. the chunky ones, because like this takes up so much room on a power strip, but like PS3s and PS4s just have a normal plug without like the extra chunk. So like, Nintendo, get with the program. Okay, so the current situation behind the TV stand is that we have all of the cords like threaded through the holes. Those are Grace's feet, by the way, if you can't tell. But they're all like threaded through the holes. So all of the cords are labeled, that's what the little white guys are, and then they're bundled with zip ties. So we have 2 power strips because our Wi-Fi router also is back here. So, and then everything goes into this splitter, which is a like multi-plug, do you know, are those AV cords? Is that what they're technically called? Okay, so this is an AV splitter so that a bunch of stuff can go into there and then that can go into the TV and just be one input, since like most TVs now only have one AV in. So that's what that is. And then anything that hooks up with HDMI cords is just draped over the front so that when we scoot this whole thing back, those are all available to go into the TV.
You started explaining as soon as I started filming, so I was like, well, might as well just keep doing it. I was just gonna get a picture of you on there, but now it feels right.
This bar is so frustrating. There it is. It made it out.
Beautiful.
What do we do with the zip tie?
Why are you like this? So here's the living room setup at this point. This is like a week later because I didn't like the clip that I had on the day that we finished. But obviously kind of the focal point of this video is over here. But up top we have this little shelf, which is actually a command shelf, so it's up with like removable strips. And this is just a picture ledge that has our most played games at the moment. So it's just Red Dead 1 and 2, and then The Last of Us. Over here, this picture frame, I just like popped the glass and back off of to keep as a decorative piece. And it has a cross stitch that the lovely Bailey made me. Then record player and my dad's stereo from college. The microphone we use to record our podcast, link in the description. And then here are the cabinets. The middle one is basically the consoles that we use the most / ones that have wireless controllers that need like a signal to go back to them. So up top is the PS3, then the PS4, and we just keep these remotes right here next to them because we only have one remote for each, so that's how that goes. There's my PS4 headset, and then we've got the Wii. It's on its side like this so that the controllers and the memory card can go into it, because if it's standing upright here, you can't open that top flap. And then here's my original Xbox. In the right cabinet is the VHS player, which is actually not the one we hooked up in the video because there was some sound issue with that one. So this is the second one I own. Yes, I own 2. And then here's the N64, and then Grace's Switch. The cabinet on the left is all of the storage stuff. So we have an HDMI cord. This is the one that we pull out to hook up a computer to the TV. These are the lesser played GameCube and Wii games. This is Xbox controllers, and then all of the N64 controllers. And then there's a box in the back there with some extra cords. Here are the lesser played PS3 games, all of the N64 games, my old first generation Nintendo DS, and then all of the remotes for the Wii. Just to the left we have this basket that has all of my records in it, and then right behind there is the VHS tapes double stacked, which are pretty much just all of my childhood movies I never bought on DVD. We have the second N64 here as a decoration. We have 2 because me and Grace both own our childhood ones still. And so we figured this would be a good decoration. And since Grace is a big lover of Zelda, that is Zelda Majora's Mask in there. And then up on the actual video game shelf, we have all of our like favorite and most played games. So starting on the end here, this is the only Xbox game I actually have up here because I only play Fable and Halo 1 and 2 on there. And Halo 1 and 2 both don't have cases because they were games that I got resale. So Fable's the only one up here. Then there's my first Harvest Moon game, Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life. So that's a large part of my tween years. Then Grace has Legend of Zelda Wind Waker and also Twilight Princess up here. Xenoblade, which is Grace's Wii game. Got Mario Kart Classic, Super Smash Classic, Pokemon Pikachu's Adventure because Amy's a child. Kirby Air Ride, this is my like big nostalgia childhood game, like so many good memories with that one. And then we have the 2 Harry Potter Lego games, which me and Grace got at a resale shop like 2 years ago. These games are so strange, you feel like you're on drugs when you're playing them, honestly. Then we have Harvest Moon Animal Parade, which is the Harvest Moon game I'm currently playing and have been for the last like 6 years. I like taking my time. PS3 games are pretty much all Grace's. We got Kingdom Hearts, not sure what this is, forgot what that is.
Excuse me, did you already forget about the PlayStation 2 classics, Jack and Dax and Sly Cooper?
Yes.
I'm moving out.
We need to see other people.
Need to see other people.
Then Grace has multiple Uncharted games, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Assassin's Creed games. I also own the Ezio trilogy on, well, you got the Ezio trilogy as one, so you own a lot more technically. But I also have the Ezio trilogy on the PS4, but I haven't played it yet. And it's also not up here because I don't physically own it. But then Arkham City and Fallout 3, my sister actually bought off of a college friend for us. They were like $3 each, which is great. So we will get to play those down the road. Then we get into the Ps4 games, which are mine. So there's Spider-Man, which I was like 60% of the way through before my PS4 corrupted and got rid of my file. Same thing with Jurassic Park, lost my file. Well, Jurassic World, which is a really fun game. It's like Zoo Tycoon for grown-ups. And then Titanfall 2 and Horizon Zero Dawn, I haven't actually played yet. I'm trying to play one game at a time as I go through my PS4. So those are downloaded but have not been played yet. And then we have both of Grace's Switch games, which are Zelda Breath of the Wild and Mario Kart. So then here's an overview of the shelves. I think the only ones that you didn't see set up in the video at all were this one and this one, which are our 2 read lists. So these are prioritized books that we want to get to as soon as possible. This is just the rest of our 2 read lists. Like this half is mine and that half is Grace's. This one is Shadowhunters and Percy Jackson books. This one is Warriors and Wolf Brother, which both of these are kind of just like vital series to us from like tween years and then teen years. Down here, this shelf is all of our books from classes. These are nonfiction books like autobiographies and some creative nonfiction stories. These are all more highbrow books, some poetry as well, and then the Polar Express, because why not? These are adult fiction. Then we have Inheritance Cycle and Harry Potter and Wicked. You saw this shelf being set up, I'm pretty sure. It's like fantasy and a little bit of sci-fi there. And then those are a couple more adult fiction books. And those are our shelves.